Good Wednesday, everyone, and welcome to Conversations Daily News here on Instagram. I'm your host, Cyrus Webb. Glad you all could join us once again. We, of course, have your news headlines coming up today. We have the Truth of the Day with Mary Ellen Ciganovich, and today in an entertainment spotlight, he being part of my conversation with best-selling author David Baldacci. Enjoy today's broadcast. For Conversations Daily News, I'm Cyrus Webb with your Wednesday headlines. In national news, Mississippi COVID-19 deaths increased by 36, with 905 new cases. The Mississippi State Department of Health reported 905 new COVID-19 cases on Tuesday and 36 additional coronavirus-related deaths. There have now been 135,803 COVID-19 cases in Mississippi and 3,581 coronavirus-related deaths since the first COVID-19 case was confirmed in Mississippi on March the 11th. 19 of the deaths occurred on November the 10th through November the 16th. The other 17 deaths occurred between September 23rd and November the 11th and were identified from death certificate reports. State Health Officer Dr. Thomas Dobbs held a press briefing on Tuesday to discuss the efforts to slow the spread of the virus. "We catch COVID primarily from people we know," Dobbs said in a tweet. "Always be careful. Assume anyone you meet could have COVID." Mask mandates are in place for 22 of Mississippi's 82 counties, including Hinds, Madison, and Rankin counties. In a related story, states plead for more federal help as virus outbreak worsens. With more shutdowns looming and a vaccine months away from wide distribution, governors across the United States are pleading for more help from Washington ahead of what is shaping up to be a bleak winter. Renewed restrictions on indoor businesses, overloaded hospitals, and the coming in of unemployment benefits for millions of Americans have led governors to paint a dire picture of the months ahead, unless the federal government steps in with more money and leadership to help them shore up their damaged budgets and beat back the resurgence of the coronavirus. Between now and June 2022, state and local governments could be facing a shortfall of $400 billion or more by some estimates. On a conference call on Tuesday of Democratic governors, Governor Tony Evers called for a sequel to the Coronavirus Aid, Relief, and Economic Security Act adopted by Congress in March. "There are workers and families and farmers and small businesses that are going to need our help, and frankly, we can't do it alone," he said. "We're going to need a robust federal support system to help our states and economies recover beyond the federal CARES funds that expire at the end of the year." The cost of distributing tens of millions of doses of a vaccine in 2021 is also emerging as a major concern for governors. State health officials have called on Congress to provide $8.4 billion. A new infusion of federal money does not appear to be on the way anytime soon, says the Associated Press. A lame duck session of Congress and a presidential administration on its way out have chilled the prospects for a deal. Congressional Democrats and Republicans generally say a new stimulus bill is needed, but they disagree on the scope of it. Some Republicans are opposed to another round of checks directly to most lawmakers, and some don't want Washington to bail out state and local governments that had financial struggles before the pandemic. The virus is now blamed for almost 250,000 deaths and over 11 million confirmed infections in the United States. Biden this week called for Congress to immediately adopt a version of a $2.4 trillion stimulus bill passed by the House, but not the Senate in May. "This is about keeping Americans afloat," he said. In more national news, Pentagon to cut troop levels to 2,500 in Iraq and Afghanistan. Acting Defense Secretary Christopher Miller said Tuesday the U.S. will reduce troop levels in Iraq and Afghanistan by mid-January, asserting that the decision fulfills President Donald Trump's pledge to bring forces home from America's long wars, even as Republicans and U.S. allies warn of the dangers of withdrawing before conditions are right. The plan will accelerate troop withdrawals from Iraq and Afghanistan in Trump's final days in office, despite arguments from senior military officials in favor of a slower, more methodical pullout to preserve hard-fought gains. In business news, stocks fall as virus worries force big rally to take a pause. Worries about the worsening pandemic pushed Wall Street to tap the brakes on Tuesday on its big November rally, which had vaulted stocks back to record heights. Treasury yields also dipped as the report showed U.S. shoppers spent less at retailers last month than economists expected. The Dow Jones Industrial Average also fell from a record, down 167 points, or 0.6%, to 29,783. And finally, in entertainment news, rapper Lil Wayne charged with federal gun offense in Florida. Rapper Lil Wayne was charged Tuesday in Florida with possession of a firearm by a convicted felon, a federal offense that carries a potential sentence of up to 10 years in prison. Documents filed in Miami federal court say the rapper, whose real name is Dwayne Michael Carter Jr., had a gun and ammunition on December 23rd of last year, despite knowing he had the previous felony on his record. Cyrus Webb, Conversations Daily News. It's now time for the Truth of the Day with Mary Ellen Ciganovich. Enjoy.
Hi. This is Mary Ellen with your Truth of the Day. See your many opportunities for advancement and fulfillment. Many of you may feel stuck in a rut right now due to the many issues that are surrounding our planet. However, you can unstick yourself by doing something new. Explore unfamiliar worlds of knowledge. Challenge yourself to read unfamiliar books. Watch educational or historical documentaries to broaden your horizons. Search the Internet for opportunities to aid you toward achieving a new level of success for yourself and or your product. These inquiries you seek will not only add to your fulfillment, they will also give you a new path to follow toward success. God has given you this time, this opportunity to advance yourself. Be sure you take advantage of it. Today, expand your horizons to once again approach life with excitement and enthusiasm. And remember, enjoy the day.
Enjoy today's Entertainment Spotlight featuring best-selling author David Baldacci right here on Conversations Daily News. For Conversations Daily News, I'm Cyrus Webb with the Entertainment Spotlight. Best-selling author David Baldacci joined me recently on Conversations Live, the radio show, to talk about his literary success and his new book, Daylight. Here's part of our conversation. What has it been like for you to see the way that people are really taking Natalie Pine?
Yeah, she has become quickly one of my most popular characters. And if you look at the social media and the Twitter activity and Facebook and all that, people really have just taken to her. They like her character. They like the journey that she's on. They like the fact that she's trying to find out, the truth of her past and what happened to her sister. And I think it's a personal journey that a lot of people can relate to. A lot of people have things in their lives that they would like to know more about. And we have revelations that, our past may not actually coincide with actually reality these days. And I think that they see that in her, and they sort of they feel like a universal connection to her. She's trying to find out the truth. It's all, it's what we all want.
Right. And I think what is so great about this, and I'll, as always, talk around it so we don't spoil it for those who haven't read it. We're going to remind them how they can get it, is that from book to book, you've let us in more and more into what she's dealing with presently and also those details from her past. So I was curious, David, because I've never asked you this question before. Did you know going in exactly what the end was? Did you have the answers initially, or is it kind of evolving for you as well?
Yeah, definitely. I had none of the answers. That's the easy answer. I had none of the answers early on. And I feel like I've taken the journey with her, and I feel like the things that are revealed to her through the course of the book, are being revealed to me, minutes before as I think about these things. And because I let the series grow organically, there's a freshness to it that I'm not looking back at an outline that I wrote 4 years ago that tells everything that's going to happen in 5 or 6 different books, and I have to refer back to the outline. Things that I thought of years ago that, as you write each book, you grow with each book. It's like, you have another child and you see that child grow up, and it's different from the child you might have had before, and so you continually change and evolve as a person. Same with the writers.
Cyrus Webb, Conversations Daily News. We thank you all for tuning in to this edition of Conversations Daily News. We'll be back with you guys on tomorrow with more news, Truth of the Day with Mary Ellen Ciganovich, and our Entertainment Spotlight. Until then, I'm your host, Cyrus Webb, saying as always, enjoy your day, enjoy your life, enjoy your world. Thank you all for choosing Conversations Daily News today. Let's make it a great one.